Did we love it? Did we hate it?
What, Taika's superhero rom-com?
Let's get into it.
We are the Phronesis Project. I'm Rick.
This is Lauren.
And we're here to talk about Thor, Love, and Thunder. Let's start with the intro to the whole movie, where it opens with Gorr in the desert.
You know, I'm kind of not the biggest fan of it. It's like the origin, but I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to see more. I feel like it was really plain visually. I do like the tattoos that he has, or like the ritual body paint.
I think it was probably one of the stronger moments and whole sequences in the movie. It's Gorr holding his daughter and, like, you know, they're dying, they're starving, they're suffering, you know. Gorr doesn't curse his god or anything. He keeps the faith. Taika, he likes the use of color. So this specific Gorr sequence, as he loses a loved one and then wanders into the desert as the voices, you know, get louder and louder, stumbles across paradise in the desert, right? It's something that's a little more grounded, a little more like earthy, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see that whole sequence play out, where it's first he gets in the water and then he climbs out, he cuts himself, it heals up, he starts eating the fruit, he sees the god, like he thinks his prayers have been answered, he thinks he helps on the way. It's one of the gods spits in his face and laughs at his
god.
Right, his specific god.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because that moment, it's the god and it's like these flower fucking entities.
Yeah, and some other like weird,
masks.
like masks.
Yeah, and it's so bizarre, and like the god himself, it looks like to be a fucking giant.
Glowing giant. I like where he cut himself with the Necrosword on his hand. I almost like flinched because like I felt it, like, but he's a really good actor. I did like the entering to like the oasis where the god was, like I think that's where it was like, okay, the whispering really got me. I was like, okay, like this is it, like the sword talking to him? Is it like the old god butcher? Is it some greater cosmic evil?
I don't know, but I think that whole scene, that moment where Benedict Cumberbatch, he's like on his knees and he's like, teach me, like this scene where he's like Bale's character, Gorr, right? He's humbling himself before the god.
Yeah.
Like everything that comes with that performance is you know,
I feel like that's a really good comparison.
Right.
Yeah.
He knocks it out of the park, you know.
He's just wonderful. He's a great actor.
It's such a great thing to see the MCU have great actors and then pair great actors with great scenes, and you get stuff like that, you know. Is the whole movie like that? No, but you know, there's certain moments where you lock it in and
you feel it.
Yeah, you feel it. It's not that specific whole scene. There ain't no jokes.
Yeah, no, he's got a lot of range.
We're trying to set up the villain and the body that has the Necrosword, right?
That bluish body,
right,
to the back, the Necrosword next to it.
Right, and that thing starts to fucking like slink its way over to fucking Gorr as if it's Mjolnir, and he like it's
like
calling
shadow
to
its
him.
way, to him. But I'm thinking because he cut himself on it too, like it like already was like a part of him before he got in there, right? Because he like sliced his hand and it healed himself. The negative thoughts that he was having, he's been suffering sadness, grief, lost all of these feelings, and then the Necrosword cut him and took all of those and then
formed a bond.
Basically, yeah.
Right. I like when he actually pierces the god's fucking skin with the sword. You see like the gold blood. Yeah. You know? I
like the scene where he not even picks up the sword, where it like basically just like you said, called to him, and like that's when he decides like, psh, I'm gonna stab you in the neck.
It's a pretty sweet moment, and you see the flip in the character. I think the range in that encounter alone is pretty fun to experience, and I think Gorr is hands down one of the more fun villains in the MCU. I think he's better than Hela, but at least our introduction to him is sweeter.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, definitely. I just think that whole, compared to Hela, way better. As soon as he like gets the sword and he stabs him or whatever, he turns that like white and like black color, and you can see like basically like the poison of running through his body, and I was like, dang, that looks so cool. Like his whole look from sadness to like serious killer.
That's Gorr, but I want to throw this out there real quick. What if the sword had been placed on Gorr's home world and it caused the heat, it caused the famine, it caused the death, and it was the source as he curses the gods, and this is what he uses to hunt down and get that first kill when he goes to the paradise. So I like the introduction of the Necrosword. It almost seems like it's convenient because it's next to this god, right? So like they got this fresh kill. He's got the sword. The god's literally feet away. It literally slinks into his hand and he gets to pierce him. But in this, I don't know how it works. So you know?
Are you basically saying like an Excalibur? Like he finds it in his world, like it's just chilling there, and like he happens upon it, and then that's why, and then he goes and hunts?
Kind of. It's kind of this relic that got lost and misplaced in this world, and it's caused,
the famine.
It's caused all this just negative shit to occur.
Destruction of,
right?
The earth.
And Gorr seeking out, like, what is the source? He stumbles upon it, picks it up, and then in picking it up, he, like, he's
transported to the god.
He takes the fucking hit, basically. He's now going to be the one that's cursed and poisoned, and, but then he gets the imagery and, like, goes into Gorr's hand, and then you see the go to Eternity's Gate and all this other shit.
The flashing, basically the master plan.
Yeah, it's like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah, that shit was kind of crazy, huh?
Right.
Because you hear the whispers, then he gets the sword, he stabs him, and then he gets, the vision, basically.
Right.
Ah, I like that idea, though.
I guess Gorr's introduction in this movie was one of the best things of the movie, right? One of the best parts, and it's pretty cool. You have that moment, and it leads into, like, the Marvel logo, but then you have that electric riff. Crushing alongside, with a theme song. Korg narrating this thing. When I gotta say, from right off the bat, I would have loved to hear Odin narrate it from, like, Valhalla. You can kind of tie that thing up with at the end. This whole thing's gonna be a spoiler heavy review, but
like a watcher essence almost.
Like a little bit,
like
just kind of
watching
looking down on his son on
uh-huh.
Asgard. I think it'd be a beautiful fucking kind of connection, but instead we get
Korg, who was not my first choice, but apparently everyone else was too busy over on Disney Plus. Say hello, Korg.
Hello, I'm made of rocks. Thank you for having me, Paul. Sorry you're dead.
Jesus Christ.
What's our boy talking about?
He's going through Thor's life, but going back to what you said about Odin, I really like that idea. I also think if it wasn't him, if it was the mom, even if it was Heimdall, because those were all, like, his mentors in a sense. Like, we saw him talking to mom.
Yeah.
In Endgame when they went back to go get the stuff. We saw, he's asked for Heimdall's help in the past, and he's been able to, help him grow with his powers too. So I feel like if it wasn't him, if it wasn't Anthony Hopkins, those other two, it would have been really good to have them narrate, because I feel like with Korg, we literally just got him. He was, like, a prisoner. Very little importance to me in the movie.
The origin of Thor, like, he goes baby, and then, baby Thor going into battle, then Thor running across, like, the forest or whatever the fuck as he ages, almost like a Lion King kind of shit.
Oh, it's exactly like that.
Right.
Ah, freaking Disney ripping on Disney. I didn't even think about that.
You show Thor getting in shape, and like you said, you see the losses, and that's what kind of sucks, that some of these characters, like, it sucks to
They're,
see
like,
them.
glossed over.
Yeah, it sucks to see them get the treatment that they do. It's like the Warriors 3, and then especially how it was done in Ragnarok. I get that one of the dudes was one of the last people standing against Hela with the Blue Bloods of Asgard, but
yeah.
I didn't like the way she just kind of threw the knives and, like, it's over with. I want to see a little bit more of a glory in the battle between Asgard and Hela with those characters specifically, because they're OGs to the story. You could at least give them a graceful exit.
And that's what I'm saying, is that they were there from the beginning, and those were his friends, and that we get in.
Then he doubles down and does them dirty again.
Yeah.
In fact, he lost a lot of people in those days. His mum is dead. And that guy. And that guy. And whoever that is.
Yeah, and, like,
what the fuck, dude?
We get in Ragnarok him looking for a team. We're the Warriors 3, and then again in this movie I'm looking to put together a team. You know what I mean? Like, this could have been such a really good utilization of his friends who always have his back. The only one that we get that's original is Lady Sif.
Korg also shows Thor just aloof, just not being present as the Guardians kind of surround him. And the connection to Endgame, Endgame, he leaves. He puts Valkyrie in charge because Valkyrie was taking care of New Asgard when Thor was in the depths of his depression. So it's like, you're the fucking leader. You held this thing together. You're it.
Yep.
And he goes.
Well, the Asguardians of the galaxy back together again.
And he has this, like, friendly, like, I guess sibling rivalry kind of thing with
Star-Lord.
With Star-Lord, yeah. And it sounds fun and it looks fun, and he's like, who's gonna be the leader? He's like, oh, you guys, do you guys want to fight? You guys
Yeah.
want knives? And like,
Yeah.
knives are fun. And
everybody was like, yes, a knife fight.
Right.
And Star-Lord's like, no, there'd be no fighting. And then Thor was like, there's no fighting.
And that seemed like such a fucking sneak peek at what the future's gonna be like when they're actually. I don't know if they were gonna be together like in Guardians 3 or Thor. Because Guardians came out before Thor. Guardians 2 was. No, actually, Guardians 2 and Thor came out the same dang year.
Yeah.
Right? 2017.
I think so.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just, whatever. I expected something a little bit more fun in that entire, I guess, run with the Guardians. And instead, I
expected more.
Yeah, instead you get Korg narrating, and then Korg also with Thor and the Guardians, which is like, wait, what the fuck? Why isn't Korg with Meek and Valkyrie and helping run things smoothly over there? He's like a new Asgard. It seems like it's perfectly set up for them, and instead he's over here, and you see them all together trying to go through battles. Like, I don't understand why his inclusion is in the fucking.
It's necessary because the director loves himself a little too much. My whole issues with the Thor and the Guardians is so short-lived, you know what I mean? And like you said, the Star-Lord and Thor banter, like, I thought, why are you guys so, like, friendly all of a sudden?
He's like mouthing like what he's gonna say next.
Like he's like,
it's gonna end here now.
Like he's his follower or something, you know what I mean?
He's his biggest fan, like,
like I didn't like that at all. Like at all. It just didn't make sense. Like they should still have like a little bit spicy between them, you know?
Yeah. Then he like rolls his eyes right when he's being like too much. So it's like, all right, what the fuck?
It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit. And then like why doesn't he have more banter or dialogue with Rocket?
For the first time in 1,000 years, I have no path. I do have a ride, though.
Move it or lose it, airbag.
Because like they were together in Infinity War, or so
Sweet
was
Rabbit.
Thank you, sweet
Sweet Rabbit. Come on, or he gave him the eyeball. He was with Groot, even with Drax.
It's like a pirate had a baby with an angel.
When he called him the angel pirate.
Fucking Stormbreaker's part of Groot. It's just like, what the fuck are we doing? And
Groot
instead,
and
it's like aloof Thor, just like, yeah, I'm with my boys, but not really with my boys.
Yeah.
I'm still hung up on some shit. It's like, motherfucker.
It's so lame. I feel like it's a wasteful and lame use of them, and like most of the Guardians aren't even saying anything. Like,
remember when the Guardians first came across Thor in Infinity War?
Yeah.
They're singing what? They're singing that one song. I forget what it's.
I don't know either. I know what you're talking about.
Right, but they have like, it's not a James Gunn moment, but it feels like it's honoring like that spirit. I wish Taika had, I guess, the sense to do the same thing with this, where dude, like, put a fucking song that might be in Quail's Zune.
Yeah.
That they could all be fucking shit up to, like, with other space creatures, villains, whatever the fuck it is. They had a chance to like really make this thing as fun and loose with the Guardians, and it seems like it's in a rush to push them out of the way so we can get.
Yeah, that's exactly how it feels. I know which song you're talking about it, but I don't know the name of it. I was literally singing it in my head right after you said it. But yeah, like that's my whole beef with it. Like Drax doesn't talk to him. Rocket, like you said, freaking Groot is a part of his damn axe. And Nebula, like, why is Nebula so like annoyed and hateful towards him? Like, I know she's kind of like sassy like that, but she was super cool with Tony. You know what I mean? Like, they've been spending so much time together. Like, what's her name? Mantis is just there. Like, literally, she does a goat noise. That's all. Like,
and I feel like you're describing, like, I guess, character moments that Taika thinks are good enough. Character moments like, oh, like they did or said something funny. When Nebula's like walking past him, she screams. And you said Mantis does the goat noise, right?
Yeah.
What about Drax when he's wrestling like the goats? He's like, I love them or whatever. You know who's missing is Groot and Rocket.
Yeah.
What's that dude's name? Not Yondu. New Yondu.
What is?
Kraglin or something.
Kraglin. There you go. Yeah.
He
and that fool's married again, and that fool got fucking relationship issues. Love issues.
He's trying to fucking steer the arrow, and like it just pokes him. Remember, like they're in the water and he just
is screaming.
Self-inflicted wound. Like so, like that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like it feels every character has a fun moment or says a fun thing, but to me it's not enough, dude. Like you should have made a whole meal about like why it was sweet that they were out there, and if Quill and Thor are boys, then let me see like what. Let me see the chemistry.
Yeah.
Let me see them back to back or some shit. Like Quill's got his guns and like.
Let me see the making of that, not just
Yeah.
throw me into it after they weren't. Like, what the fuck? Doesn't make no sense.
If let's say Thor is a dude that needs to be part of like social circles or needs to have friends, or need to like, let's see that shit, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I want to see that dude not have like a buddy cop moment with Quill, but like they could have had some dumb shit.
That
Like
would have been funny.
it would have been like they could have had some silly shit. Like they chose to shoot it outside, which is like cool. It's great. It's better than like them in a ship and like it's
Yeah.
all interior and it's like dark hallways and
Yeah.
the Guardians. Like I just wish they did more with them. If they seem like a fun cast, Taika's a great comedy writer. He has the track record.
Yeah.
I
The
personally
capability
feel.
to be.
Yeah, I personally feel like lukewarm on that guy. I feel like some of those movies are really great.
Yeah, he's alright.
I want to see some shit that's gonna make me laugh and not try to make me feel too sad. Like because a lot of movies try to do like the balance of both, and I'm like, just make me laugh,
Just
dude.
make me laugh, yeah. I mean, just get to the point.
All I'm saying is that I would have loved to see a scene where they're all on the ship and there's a song playing and they're all mouthing the words like they fucking love and they know this song. Maybe you know what? Actually, every character's different, so not every character is gonna be all in. Every character is gonna express it differently.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to see a scene like that or see some form of camaraderie. You know, like,
and Thor singing along with
Right.
him. Like, that would have been,
Bro,
like, the cherry on top, the creme de la creme, you
you
know?
have these characters, these comic book characters side by side. You can't do something fun with it, my boy.
Didn't do nothing with it.
You had
Not
Hulk and Doctor Strange. Like,
Zero.
you're having some of the
zero.
more fan favorite characters in the MCU, dude. And like, damn, this how you do them?
He doesn't just Miss Marbled them.
Not me. What? Just listening.